here we are at the grand reveal. The grand reveal.
Did you fuckers guess it? Did you have any inkling?
All of these songs, plus more, are finalized as the album, The Beautiful Dark of Life. This whole process has been so fun to figure out and present in a way that we saw made sense. And at its core, this whole story is, as I've said before, about the seasons of life. You aren't always on a high. You aren't always at a low. It's constantly winning and learning and figuring life out. And the idea that you have to appreciate and respect and learn from the absolute lows, because that's how you get high again. And you have to be sort of not cautious but cognizant of the highs, because that can also take you back down. So like really just enjoying and respecting all of the steps of life, because if you don't, you're wasting the whole point of life to begin with. So The Beautiful Dark of Life, the title, came actually very proudly from my at the time 4-year-old daughter. We were walking from a restaurant and she was on my shoulders. We walked under this kind of overhang, and she said, "Dad, what's that?" She pointed into the shadow that the overhang was making. And I said, "Oh, those are shadows." And she like took a deep sigh and like said, "Dad, shadows are the beautiful dark of life." And I shed 4.5 tears, immediately pulled out my phone and typed it into my phone, and then had an hour-long conversation about how our 4-year-old was so poetic. But fast forward a year and a half later, or whatever, and we're making this record, and we kind of have this song that is forming to be that. And we're kind of looking for the chorus. It's like, I have this thing.
We needed the tagline. We needed like what it.
And like you're kind of always weird because that's such a personal thing. It's like my child to bring it up, and you don't know if the band's gonna be like, okay, dude. But as we mentioned before, with like the come down feeling, like we're all so uplifting of each other, and everyone was like, yes, like it was like a good idea.
Thing.
And like the beautiful dark of life is enjoying the down, enjoying the dark, the sad times, learning from them, and realizing that like you have to do that to kind of balance out the good. And that's the whole point of life. It's what living is. That's the human experience.
So each EP title is actually a lyric from the song "The Beautiful Dark of Life," and about this struggle in the journey of life, but also like the struggle of an artist and a musician, for instance. Like you're trying to find that hope of a spark, and then you kind of find your flame, and you're like, is this good enough? Like, is this cool? And then you fucking torch in the dark, and you got it.
We found it,
and it's all just symbiotic together.
Each EP sort of you'll notice, or maybe you'll notice now, or maybe you've already noticed that the EPs, each one sort of cycles through those life seasons. There's a down moment, there's an up moment, there's a moment of loss, it runs the gamut of emotions, and each one kind of tells that story because life does that. There's never just low to high and then you die, without trying to rhyme.
That was good though.
It's up and down the whole ride. So that's kind of where we're at with the whole theme of The Beautiful Dark of Life. Now telling that story as a whole will be different. You'll be able to experience it in a different way that you didn't in the EPs, and it'll tell more of kind of a cohesive, linear story rather than going everywhere. And there'll be more songs that you can enjoy, and different versions of songs, and all kinds of fun things that we've hoped you've enjoyed. And also, a big part of this that we wanted to release this in pieces was that I feel like the music to us is so important, and we don't release music if it's not absolutely important to us.
Something that we really want to share with you.
Yeah, and it's like to take the time and really just fully digest and take in a few songs at a time, sort of like lets each thing exist at a higher level.
Yeah, it's easier to digest as opposed to here's this big group of songs and trying to like listen through all of them with all the distractions there are in life and your everyday living situations. So to have just fed in small sections, I think it's a lot easier to digest and really latch onto these 4 songs and
it's like musical tapas.
Yes, exactly.
But then
You're
still
like using
giving
the
you a
hub.
nice dinner at the
Yeah.
end with some new songs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we hope that you've enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed making it and releasing it to you. And we hope that it all makes sense, because it makes sense to us. And if we can leave with anything, we hope that this somehow sets a little spark in you guys to try and just enjoy all the little seasons of life and learn from them, respect them. And
Enjoy the
if
ride.
you do, I think you'll enjoy the ride a lot more.
Yeah.